Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Kev. How you doing? How you feeling? I'm back with y'all once again. Um, I'm making a response video to XemVanAdams' video on titled "The Velvet Rope Boundaries and the Areas of Which is Appropriate to Cross or Not to Cross Boundaries." Um, Now, personally, I do agree with him 100% that when it comes to exes, there is definitely a thick ass line and a very clear boundary that one's friend or friends are not allowed to cross when it comes to association between, you know, the person's exes and the friends. If I'm involved with someone or ever have been involved with someone either sexually, either in whatever type of intimate relationship we had, if I was involved just dating them or seeing them at some point, if I was in a serious relationship with whatever, if I was in some type of relationship with another person where I was obviously interested and showed interest in the person and had feelings for that person, when I'm done with that person, there's no reason for any of my friends to have association with that ex, especially not romantically, because then I'm going to jail. It's that simple. Point blank, period, flat out, I'm going to jail. Somebody going to end up dead or somebody going to end up missing because I'm going to jail. Okay? I'm not having it. There's no reason for you to have association with someone whom I've been in a relationship with or even in anything involving a relationship. There's no reason why you should talk to them. Okay, MySpace and Facebook included. He stated that MySpace and Facebook has become the type of thing where it's more of a dating network than anything, and that is so true. That's why you have all these reports of people coming up missing, people being sexually abducted, and all this other stuff because people are going on these friend networking systems to communicate with people sexually, to hook up with people. Whatever happened to the old school? Now, I mean, I'm 19 years old, but I believe that if you want to get to know someone, talk to them face to face, get their number, and hang out with them one on one. Don't do that online bullshit. Because 9 out of 10, when you see the person when you see the person up close and personal, you don't like what you see because you didn't see the same thing that you saw on their MySpace default picture. Hell, it might be a totally different person. I don't know how many times I've been interested in someone because I myself had made the mistake of getting interested or a little involved with someone, not sexually or anything like that, but I had attempted to get involved with someone who I thought looked a certain way, and then luckily before I met the person, before I knew her name, I talked to her on the phone, but before I even met her, luckily one of my friends who knew her cousin hit me up and was like, "Oh, I heard you talk to so and so," and I was like, "Yeah." Go to her house. I go to this friend's house. She's there with her cousin, and they're showing me pictures of the girl that I was thinking that I was apparently talking to. Come to find out, it wasn't the same fucking girl. She was in the picture, but it wasn't who she said she was. She said she was one of her cousins that was in the picture with her. She was somewhere else in the fucking back, clearly in the picture, but it wasn't the one who she had told me she was. So I was totally like floored. I was flabbergasted, bamboozled, and I felt like pure shit because I'm sitting up here thinking that I'm talking to someone gorgeous, and not to say that she wasn't, beautiful. She was still a nice looking young lady, but she wasn't someone that I would initially go after as far as what I'm attracted to. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, people be careful. It's very, very tricky when you go out here thinking that you're going to go into a situation carefully, but you end up not being in that situation carefully. You know what I'm saying? I mean, friends tend to think sometimes, and I don't know what kind of friends, would think like this, but believe it or not, people do tend to think that when your friend is done with that person, that makes them fair game. And that's not what it is. Because what you'll understand is that when I consider you to be a person within my circle and you go and mess with someone who I was involved with, that means, well, obviously, if I'm no longer involved with that person, that means I don't want them around. So by you getting involved with them behind my back or even publicly, not only are we going to fall out, but I'm going to have to deal with this person in one way or another. That would have to be my choice, of course. if I continue to, speak to you after that shit, which 9 out of 10 I wouldn't, but at some point I would have to be around this person who I clearly don't want to be around just because you want to be fresh and you want to be the worst friend in the world and you want to act like an asshole. I'm not. It's not going down like that. There are certain boundaries that you do not cross when it comes to when it comes to friendships and ex relationships. It doesn't go down. I'd be damned if I ever try to go behind one of my friends' backs and mess with their exes. It's not going down like that because what's gonna happen is I'm gonna start bringing this person around, and I'm gonna start, throwing little hints in and like, oh yeah, why not bring so and so, and we can all chill together. It's gonna be a problem, and even if my friend allows me to do so, I would feel like shit because what's gonna happen is there's gonna be an awkward silence and a tension in the room that is making me and my guests uncomfortable, and it's gonna be a problem. Then I'm gonna have not only my friend hating me, but everyone else hating me for doing the shit in the first place. And so, put yourself in that position. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we think from our lustful thoughts, and we have all these, things that our forbidden areas are setting signals to our brain to believe. And sometimes what happens in the Neverland should never really be exposed. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and when I'm talking about the Neverland, I'm referring to the Forbidden Zone. I'm saved. I can't really print to it. I can't say it. I can print to it though. It's down there somewhere. So anyway, sometimes we allow our forbidden zone to take control, and we don't think with the minds that God gave us to think with, and we end up making stupid ass mistakes because of it. You know what I'm saying? And that's definitely a mistake that old forbidden zone tends to have, a reoccurring effect on those around us, people that we trust. You know what I'm saying? And it's very few people that I trust. I have people in my circle, and I keep it that way. If you are outside of the circle, that means you are either association with me, and I socialize with you. I see you when I see you, and I say hi to you, and I speak to you. And then there's even further boundaries surrounding that little zone outside of my circle. And those people are people that I may have socialized with in the past that I don't anymore for whatever reason. And so I kind of categorize people that I hang around, or my friends per se, and anyone within my circle who I have officially come to love and trust. If they were to ever step out into that forbidden zone and think with their forbidden zone and not the good brain that God gave them, and wanted to cut up and be a little sneaky behind my back, like I said, I'm going to jail. It's point blank period. That's what it is. I would never do that to any of my friends because I've been brought up different. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm the only person in Connecticut that has sense. But I've seen it happen, and it's not a pretty sight. It's not a smart thing to do. You will lose friends. You will lose respect. And it's just not the way to go. So with that said, I'm going to leave y'all. Zem pretty much said it for me, but I just had to give my little input. Zem, keep up the good work. Love your videos. And peace and chicken grease. I'm out.